Welcome, my name is Trish and thank you so much for joining me today. Let's talk about the UK. Now the UK, I've been meaning to get to your reading. Ever since I got this deck, I wanted to take a look at the UK and what's happening. But over the last month, I've felt an intense urge to need to have a look and delve a little deeper into what is going on with the UK. I have family in the UK, so I am always thinking about you in a very empathetic light in what you're going through there. And sometimes I think that you are going through things a little tougher than everybody else. So there's quite a few things going on with the UK, and hopefully finally the people may be heard, and hopefully we may have change. That's what I'm hoping for in this reading. But I don't know what the cards are going to say, and we'll take a look. So the issues that seem to be the biggest ones that I'm going to be taking a look at will be the immigration. There seems to be a lot of civil unrest and protests around the immigration and protection of the young girls in the UK. The other thing is the farming rules around the farmers and agriculture. So that seems to be a heated debate as well. And also the online Protection Safety Act for the social media. So that we are following closely behind you with that one, UK. So we have ours coming in December if all goes through. But I feel, and I heard that somebody got arrested for putting up a tweet or some kind of Twitter or some kind of social media post that they took down half an hour later, but they still got charged 31 months for this post. So it's quite tense over there. Now this is supposed to be for the safety of children. That's what it's brought in under the guise of protection and safety of children under 16. But there is a level of censorship going on here. So I have my eyes wide open watching you, UK, to see how this act is being felt amongst the people, and also how it's being played out as well. So let's take a look at those three main areas. Also making changes to the role that the monarch has in approving government legislation in the future. So let's take a look at some of these issues. Let's take a look at the current energies of the UK. Firstly, I'm seeing the uncertainty within the different policies that's out around the UK, the uncertainty of the people. I'm also very drawn to the tears in this card and how this is affecting the people of the UK. So the general energy that I'm feeling, first of all, tapping in for our first question is, what is the general energy around the UK people, energy of the UK? Well, there's uncertainty. They don't know what's coming with all of these new policies and wanting to make changes in the future. They don't know if they can trust their current advisors. So I just wanted to check in to see if the cards are on the energy of the UK before we get into these really important topics. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about are the people finally going to be heard? So I see the people uprising, and we're starting to hear more about it on this side of the globe. So I'm wondering if the people are finally going to be heard and change is coming for the UK, change for the better. Okay, so I'm seeing here that they're still bound by certain allegiances, they're still bound by certain rules. So even though they're being heard, there might be a mourning of a loss. So even though they're being heard, let's have a look. There's a couple of cards here. Let's read into what these are. Even though they're being heard, I feel like they're still bound by the rules that are already in place. Whether or not you get the change of your Starmer. Okay, this is entertainment purposes only. So whether we're seeing changes in your government, but policies stay the same, or we see changes in policies, but government stays the same. So they're still bound by allegiances, bound by current situations or current policies or current leadership. Now, there could be a mourning of a loss coming for the people of the UK. So it's either the people of the UK in mourning, a period of mourning. Now, it could be a well-known person that passes away, or it could be the energy that I'm feeling is more like the people in mourning. So something that happens that affects the people and they're in mourning. So, and what I mean by that is the people are so shocked by the energy of what's happening that they are not dealing with it very well. There's misleading headlines for sure going on at the moment. As I said, you're being noticed around the world. So, and some of these headlines could be misleading. Maybe it's hope for certain outcomes, but and it's clickbait, but there is definitely misleading headlines going on with what's going on with the UK and the power of persuasion. So I am seeing with this card the energy of the monarchy, and also foreign leaders as well. Foreign leaders stepping in, putting their 2 cents worth in on how the UK is being run. This is power of persuasion. So this is definitely the energy going on right now around other countries giving their input about what your government is doing there in the UK, what policies are in, how the people are responding, and what is going on in the UK. So let's get in and get some answers here. Are we going to see changes? Are we going to be seeing changes for the better for the people of the UK? This is the question that I want to ask. I'm hoping for a yes, but let's see what the cards say. And let's see if we're going to start to see them this year. Let's see, are we going to start to see some positive changes for the people of the UK? Now, I did get the card about the mourning, the people in mourning. Okay, did that a change card? Shifting, that's a change card. Shifting dynamics. You see the butterflies, and shifting dynamics. It's a change card for sure. So there is change coming. Changes coming around corruption being revealed. So the situations coming to light about policies that you have in, or different situations that have been a little bit corrupt, and that's being revealed, but there's going to be some changes made around that. So we will see some changes starting to come. I do see successful outcome on the bottom of the deck as well. So we are seeing, and I was hoping to get that for you, UK, changes coming. Now, are we going to see changes in your government? As I said, I wasn't sure if the energies around changing government policies stay the same because we have the bound by allegiance, or if we have changing policies but the government stays the same. So let's narrow that down. Are we going to see changes in the government? We have some really interesting cards on the table, so let me let you know what they are and what they mean. First of all, the cards are just letting us know the concerns that the people of the UK have. One of those being your immigration policies, and the economic growth. So we have immigrants coming over in 5-star hotels, while we have veterans living on the streets. So we have a real imbalance in fairness and justice, or it's an imbalance in how fairly the UK people are treated against foreign people coming in. Open borders here, so there's issues around that. These are the concerns for the UK people. It says environmental concerns, but what I'm getting out of this is agricultural industry. You can see in the background it's kind of very agricultural industry. So the people of the UK have concerns. Let me slow my speaking down because sometimes I do speak too fast. We have environmental concerns. We have border concerns. We have economic concerns, being the unfairness of how people are treated. They're bound by allegiances, bound by the policies that they bring in. I said, is there going to be change to the government? We have your current ruler. We have Starmer sitting here, briefed and in command. And then over here on the diagonal, we have a leadership battle. So that's good news for the people of the UK. Now, this could be the Reform Party over here raising their hand. And okay, what I'm getting, two things out of this. First thing that I got out of this was that support and assistance sitting next to leadership battle. I feel there's a little bit of background support coming in for change, battle of leadership, coming in from perhaps from shadow rulers, perhaps from the monarchy, perhaps from other alliances or other countries. So there seems to be some kind of support or assistance in the background for a leadership battle, whether that's coming from a shadow ruler, from the monarchy, or from foreign or outside allegiances. Other countries is what I mean by that. So they may be pro-change of government. So that's really interesting that this is coming up in the cards. So this is your government sitting briefed in command. On the diagonal, we have a leadership battle happening. So whether that's happening right now, or we have somebody being pushed into the limelight, pushed into the spotlight to show maybe even a little bit of a test I'm getting around this other party. Maybe they're I don't want to say making deals, but I want to say testing alliances to other parties. So that's really interesting that that's coming out. So what I mean by that is that could be shadow rulers, it could be the monarchy, it could be other countries testing other parties on where their allegiance lies and how they will go briefed and in command. So hopefully I made that clear enough. I can see really clearly what that means and how that's readings, and I hope that I explained that well enough. So let's see if I missed anything else. So I can see what the issues are for the UK. I can see leadership battle coming. Now let's take a look to see if there's going to be changes to the policies that you have currently that are, oh, look at that, a deal being made. Like I said, I was sensing something around. I said I didn't want to say deal made because the card wasn't on the table, but the card's sitting in my hand on the bottom of the deck. So there feels to be, that is what's going on. So I do see, and we've had the change card as well, so I see that positive. Now the concern that I have was I felt you're going to get a change in either policies but not leadership, or you're going to get changes in leadership but not policies. So let's take a look at the different policies that are in right now. First of all, we want to take a look at the agricultural policy and the issues with the farmers. I hear the farmers protesting with their equipment. I see farmers being arrested, and very, very harsh laws for the farmers. So let's see if any of these are going to be reformed or changed. Any of these harsh laws on the agricultural industry or farmers, for the farmers. Interesting cards once again for the agricultural laws. What I'm seeing is that easily bought, well, a couple of things I'm getting out of that. One thing, it costs a lot of money, and there's a lot of issues around money and these laws for the agricultural industry. I see a succession plan and open negotiations. So once we have new leadership, or once you have new leadership in the UK, then there's going to be open negotiations around these laws. I see somebody stepping down because I've asked about the policies and about the laws, and will there be changes? Maybe they'll step back some of those laws, because stepping down generally talks about somebody stepping down, but it can also stepping down or stepping back some of those policies or laws that has been in. Now what I'm getting is that somebody raising their hand, succession plan, with ideas around this, is going to be true to their word and roll back some of these laws. So stepping down backwards, or stepping down of some of these laws. Global impact is affecting it's has a global impact. These laws having a global impact. I do see open negotiations and someone being true to what they say they're going to do when it comes to stepping down some of these laws. Okay, and then we see energy management also. So now whether this is something to do with your energy production. Okay, so there is a succession plan that those laws will come under open negotiations to better manage the situation, the unrest. And again, I know this is like an energy production in the background, but it kind of looks a little rural as well. It looks a bit agricultural as well, this card here. So it's about better managing for global production, or for affected by weather even, because we're talking about impacts from the global impacts. But there's open negotiations to better manage current policies around the agricultural. Let me just cut it there and just make it very simple and basic. So let's get on to the next question. Do we see... Okay, let's talk about this online safety policy. Is there motives behind this apart from just the protection of children? Is this a censorship law? Okay, in answer to that question around the online safety laws or policies that's come out, the energy that I'm seeing here, there's change coming around to that. There's either changes being made with those laws, or there's changes coming. Now, what I'm seeing from this is strained relations. This is with other countries. This is with the US. So the US are raising their hands on this issue because it negatively affects them. So they're saying things like affecting, companies, US companies, social media companies, I guess, as well as the what the people of the US can say. So negatively affects other countries, and it's causing strained relations. So you can see very clearly what's happened. This is current headlines. Now there is misleading information with those headlines. This is currently what's going on, but there's some misleading information around those statements or what's going on with that situation when it comes to those new online laws. Or regulations, I should say, because this is regulations over here. Making your leadership a bit of a social outcast or a bit of an isolated outcast because these laws are being negatively affecting foreign countries. So you can see the cards are on it. They know what's going on with this situation, causing some kind of leadership battle. Now, this could either be like the spread we had where leadership battles coming within your country, or this could just be the strained relations, politicians head to head, causing tension between and strained relations between politicians from other countries, from foreign countries, and having battles around this particular policy or this particular regulations. So it's having a negative impact. It's causing your current leader, to look like be outcasted in some way, forcing a change of focus, forcing or promoting the change of these laws in some way. So I captured all of those cards, and I think they're all very straightforward, and I hope that you can see yourself what these cards are saying. The next question now, and the answer to that being that other countries are stepping in, strained relations, wanting them to be changed. Okay, next question is the immigration is another tense situation. I see lots of uprising and protests for the UK, so let's see if we're going to see any changes around immigration policies. So I've got two things going on with this spread. As I was shuffling, I started to think about the upcoming changes to how the role that the monarchy plays in certain regulations or certain new rules or new laws. So I started to think about that, and the King card came out. So we have a bit of these. They're a bit. I've got to make my way through them because it's kind of two questions in one here. Talking about immigration policies, I see national defence. Now, for one thing, this could be the imbalance between vets and how they're treated against how immigration people newly into the country are treated. So there's issues there, and there's a relentless determination of the people to do something about this, to reveal where the corruption is and how these laws are covertly done. Is it covertly bringing in a certain number of people? There's something going on here with this policy that is around covert operations. The national defence, your national defence is either brought in trouble, or the national, it's what I'm getting. It doesn't have to be military. It can be the defence, the national defence of the UK is at breaking point. There's an issue going on there with that. That's what I'm kind of picking up out of that card, as well as it being a national defence issue, because that's what it is. It's a national defence issue, and there's something covert going on around this policy. Now, I do see this one here as being the issues around. Okay, so where I think these two are tied in together is because they've jumbled up in the one reading. It could be that this particular law, policies, rules around open borders or immigration is somehow connected to the new rule that they want to bring in to cut the monarchy out of those decisions. So maybe there's a bit of and controlling how much input the monarchy can have into those particular policies. So yeah, that's very interesting. But there's misleading headlines once again around the immigration policies, the uprising, the protest. There's misleading headlines there, but there's also some misleading headlines going on around the new rules or the idea to cut the monarchy out of certain upcoming laws. So there's some misleading headlines going on for one thing. These two are joined together. That's that new law that they're talking about. But I think it somehow comes back to the borders, the national defence as well. Maybe they want to cut the monarchy out of those decisions covertly, or covertly bring in more, open immigration even more covertly. The pursuit of control is making me think about everything that's being said about in the headlines around Keir Starmer, how he's acting a bit like a tyrannical leader with some of these policies. So that's what I'm seeing here with these headlines. The lights have just gone funny. This is entertainment purposes only. Now, I know that your laws over there are quite strict around what can be said in censorship. You've already got it in. Ours is not in yet. It will be in December. But I must say that this is just card reading. It's entertainment purposes only. There's no facts here. I'm just letting you know what the cards are saying about some of these situations. So they are saying there is definitely some misleading headlines when it comes to the monarchy and rules being made. There's some misleading headlines there, but there's also misleading headlines when it comes to the immigration as well. But there's something also going on that's very covert that they're trying to do in the background and keep it under wraps or under control here. You can see all these control. So I think these cards are on it. So let's do a final pull for the UK. I think the cards are really being on to what's going on for you, and in that case I really hope that we can see some changes coming for you. Okay, let's give us an overall spread of upcoming. Let's look at upcoming energy for the UK, please. Upcoming energy for the UK. Very interesting cards upcoming for the UK. We have somebody stepping down. How the country is currently being run or situations going on in the UK is not sustainable. There needs to be changes. Somebody is trying to retain authority and hang on to authority here. I see an interim placeholder, which means somebody stepping in the interim. Somebody stepping down and somebody stepping in. Interim. So until there's another election or something happens like that, there may be a global impact. So there may be a global effects, so things happening outside of the UK that affects these changes in stepping down, trying to retain authority, but we have an interim placeholder on the table. The way things are going are not sustainable. So calling for a step down, even though he's trying to retain authority, other countries step in, and there's an interim placeholder. That's upcoming, so let's see how that goes. Interesting. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Does any of this make sense with your current policies or what is going on with the people in the UK? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Trish. This is the Governance Oracle, and you'll find this on my website. Links are in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next reading.